Hi, I'm Eunice Slagle, and I'm going to talk to you about the World War II room at our local museum on Indiana and Franklin Street. We're open Wednesday through Saturday from 10 to 5.
9 to 5,
9
but
to
close
5.
enough.
Yes, we have a lot of exhibits. It'd be nice for you to come in. So these are the things. I got involved with the museum 6 years ago. My husband was a prisoner of war in World War II, and he was captured in North Africa. And these were his mementos, and I thought they should belong here. This is his German dog tags in the back. And these were the men. They all were in high school together, and they were inducted together. And they all came home. And Scott Cole is in the front, and he was firing a rifle, and a German bullet went right down the rifle and took the ring finger and little finger of both hands. He lost both of those. And Frank was in a camp near the Polish border, and he worked a year on a farm and a year on a railroad. And towards the end of the war, when the Russians were coming, they started marching them away. And they ended up walking about 1,000 miles. And in the end, they walked him right into the American hands. And he weighed 188 pounds when he was captured, and he weighed 95 when he was liberated. And I know it wasn't as bad as the Japanese, but still, they weren't treated very nice. He had surgery without anesthetic. They didn't have very much to eat, but he was happy to be home, never talked about it, and he always had a smile on his face. Now we'll go over here. This is the wedding dress of Virginia Lamb. And her boyfriend, she was in my class at school, and her boyfriend brought this parachute home from World War II, and she had her wedding dress made from it. It's 100% silk. And on this wall is the names of everybody in the city of Valparaiso that was in World War II. And this used to be displayed at the courthouse. And the weather was starting to deteriorate, is what I understand, so they brought it over here. And in the 40s, the population of Valparaiso was like 12,500, and now it's 31 or 32,000. So there were over 1,100 of our boys and women too that were in the military, so that's quite a percentage. And Bob Zeller was a neighbor of ours. He was killed in World War II. He had made a few missions, and I'm not sure which one, but he took off and his plane exploded in the air. It had been sabotaged on the ground. And this young man was Paul Goodrich. And he had enough flights in, he could have come home. But he said no, he would stay one more flight, and as it happened, he was killed on that flight. And this young man is Walter Cochran, and he was killed by a sniper in Italy, and the fellas just hurried up and buried him, and he was listed as AWOL for over a year, because he didn't show up anywhere, and they forgot in the battle that they had buried him. But they finally got him taken care of. And the Saramore family donated all of this display. And they're all numbered, and on the side here it tells what each item is. And we have a uniform from every branch of the service. And this is a flag with the 48 stars on it. And John DeMann and his brother Timothy both work at Urschel's. And John designed and built this display for us from material at Urschel's lab. These are World War II uniforms. This is Fred DeBruzzi's Air Force. And this is a World War II nurse's cape. And this is a World War II Marine uniform. And this young man lived across the street from us, Earl Newman, and his family brought all of his medals and things here. And this was my husband's jacket. That's the only thing he brought home with him. And this is a Red Cross World War II ladies' uniform, and they were all nurses. My niece and I came, they had a mask show here, and we came to the museum to visit. It's the first time we had come, and so we wanted to come upstairs and look at all the rooms, and this room needed help. The cases were scratched, and you couldn't see the displays in them very well. So we got together and raised the money to buy all new cases, and we redid this room. The Stars and Stripes newspaper was sent to a friend of mine, Marcia Johnson. She was married to Johnny Keel, and he sent her this newspaper, and he said, if you hear something happen to me, don't pay attention because I've lost my dog tags. Well, a week later, he stepped on a landmine and was killed. So, of course, when they got the news, they didn't believe it. But finally, it came to truth what had happened to him. And after the war was over, his sister went over and brought his body back so he could be buried here. This is his, Elmer Alberg's trunk. He was medic in the Pacific, in the Philippines, and it seems strange that they wore wool uniforms in that heat. But of course, my husband Frank was in North Africa, and he had wool uniforms. But in the daytime, it was very hot, and at night, it was very cold.